Today we're going to be answering the big question: if you're buying a Tesla, is full self-driving FSD worth the money? Now, as many of you may know, I've just had to purchase a Tesla Model 3 Performance for a customer for sale, and this car had full self-driving. So today we're going to be going through what full self-driving does, and in my honest opinion, do I think that you should purchase it? Now, there's a couple of things it does above standard autopilot. Now, if you buy a Tesla Model 3, for example, autopilot, standard autopilot is completely free. You don't pay anything for autopilot. So we're going to be talking about what self-driving adds, for, what extras you actually get above autopilot, and, at the end, a summary of should you buy it. So first of all, let's have a look. We've got Summon. Now, Summon allows you to move your car forward and backwards within a given slot, in a car parking slot, so you can pull the car out and in. Now, this is nothing new. This is something that Mercedes, BMW, and just general ICE cars have been able to do for a while. Yes, you have to pay extra for it, but it's not unique to Tesla. It's just basically using the parking sensors on the front and the back to work out if they can carry on going forward or backwards to get out of tight spots. Now, this is an absolute bonus, especially for the customer that was buying this car that was disabled. People often aren't very considerate next to disabled drivers in disabled spots, and haven't realised that the reason why the spots are bigger is so they can get in and out of the car with more ease, and they park very, very close. So this allows you to pull the car out of the space and easily get in and out. Now, you have to have full self-driving to allow this Summon. On previous autopilots, on Model S's and X's, you used to get a different level of autopilot. They've messed them around and changed them around a bit, where it used to allow you to do this type of Summon just as standard as part of the autopilot package. But Tesla rejigged all the autopilot and full self-driving packages, in my mind, to make full self-driving look like it had more included than it actually did, instead of just being full of vaporware, which, let's be honest, at the moment, it is mainly vaporware. The promise of level 5 autonomy is not anytime soon. But let's have a look at what it can actually do. You can actually do advanced Summon now. So advanced Summon is a little bit more clever, and this is pretty cool. So advanced Summon, in fact, when Elon first demonstrated it on Model 3, when he was first announcing it, he showed basically that you could pick a place on a map and have the car drive to you. And on the example, they used a police officer chasing after the car, trying to put a ticket on the front of it, and the car running away from the police officer. Now, it does work in the UK, and the legality of it is you can only use it in private spaces, so private car parks, stuff like that. Non basically stuff where the insurance companies would be angry. Now, when I've tested it, it works. You can pick a place on the map and it'll drive to it. The only problem is it only works here in the UK anyway if you're in Bluetooth range of the car, because it uses the phone's Bluetooth next to the car to know that you're in line of sight, safe line of sight. And this meant for me, when I was testing it, that I had to be as close as a couple of meters away. So really, it didn't really add any functionality over moving it forward and backwards out of a spot, unless you're in a really tight angled spot car park and you need to physically drive round, turn the wheel out as you came out of the spot. But it didn't really add any massive functionality. I was hoping what it would do is the promise of, I'm sat here in my showroom, my car's parked around the back, I can see the car, I've got line of sight, it's chucking down with rain, and instead of going out and getting absolutely soaked, I could press a button on my phone, watch my car drive all the way around from the back of the showroom to here where I'm sat now, and getting it, less wet. And that was the whole promise of Summon. I don't know if it's insurance legalities or some other issues, but it doesn't really do what you'd want it to do, and whether that will change in the near future or not is just questionable. But it's a cool feature, and to be honest, the forward and backwards reverse Summon, that should just be included as standard in autopilot. I don't understand why that needs to be in FSD. Now, another feature that you get included as part of full self-driving is automatic parallel parking and normal parking spaces, your normal standard bay parking. So you get auto parking, which is great. You drive past a spot, You put it in reverse and the car will control the steering wheel and park you in a spot. Absolutely great, but shouldn't be part of full self-driving. Again, it should just be included as part of the standard autopilot. And why, you ask me? Because you can buy a Renault, a French, car, French budget Renault car with this on. It's not an amazing super feature that needs all the full self-driving cameras and computer. No, it just needs the standard ultrasonic sensors that are around the car that every car has to do this. And it's not really that amazing. It's been on cars for years. In fact, I think Mercedes and Ford were the first two car companies to add it onto their cars. Yes, again, they charge you for it, but on this type of car, that shouldn't be the price that they're charging for full self-driving. It's a pretty standard feature, and to be honest, I think Tesla, it used to be part of autopilot, and I honestly, again, I think they've moved it to full self-driving just to make full self-driving look like you're actually paying for something. Now, it's a great feature, and I love self-parking cars. Yes, we can all park a car ourselves, but full self-driving, these self-driving parking spot cars that a lot of cars now have, the advantage of it is you don't curb your alloys. Now, the pièce de résistance of full self-driving is, of course, navigate on autopilot. And this is why I thought I want to add it on. I mean, to have basically put something in your navigation and your car to drive you there. Come on, that is sci-fi, that's amazing. However, it's not as great and as perfect as you'd think. Now, the car that I had, I only had full self-driving navigate on autopilot for a very, very short period. It took a while to calibrate the cameras because I had to do some, various lanes and stuff like that for the cameras to fully calibrate. But when I fully got it on, navigate on autopilot, and autopilot is slightly different. So on autopilot, you get the blue lanes down either side of the road. On navigate on autopilot, you get a blue line down the center of the road. So this allows you to basically drive autonomously on the motorway, and if a car in front of you is driving too slow, the way it works is it will overtake that car that's too slow. If your speed cruise control is set higher than the car in front, it'll overtake them and then pull back in the lane, and also get you ready for exiting the motorway, or in America, the off-ramp. So it will pull you in the off-ramp route and take you off. It's great, yeah, that's exactly what it does. However, you have to accept each of these changes by pressing a button on the screen. So, would you like to overtake this car? Yes. Would you like to exit this turning on the motorway? Get ready for your exit turn. Yes. Which is great. You have to press a button, but it's not really saved me any real great heartache of actually using the physical steering wheel and overtaking the car myself and changing back into the lane myself and pulling off on the lane. Now, the very, very first autopilots on Model S and Model X's used to be able to signal with your indicator, and the autopilot would wait to change lanes for you automatically, which is great, which it won't do on standard autopilot. It's now been moved to full self-driving only. So if you haven't got navigate and autopilot, you can still signal to change lanes, which is one of the best features that was on Tesla's autopilot system. But now you have to pay for full self-driving to be able to change lanes using autopilot. So again, it's Tesla trying to remove features from the autopilot and move it onto full self-driving. And it just feels to me that they haven't got enough chunk at the moment for full self-driving to sell on its own. So they're taking features away that used to be part of autopilot and moving them onto full self-driving. And I don't want to upset the Tesla fanboys, because they really, really, really don't like, you discussing things that, don't sound perfect in the Tesla eye, but that's what it feels like to me as a consumer. I'm just a bit upset because these are great features, and I think that Tesla should include them for free. And if full self-driving is only a couple of years away and they've almost cracked it, then that's sell on its own. You don't need to take away gimmicks that used to be part of autopilot and put them on full self-driving. Now, the other system it does are traffic lights. The traffic light system didn't work on the Tesla I picked up until the very, very, very last day that I had to drive the car back from the hand control people that fit hand controls to Tesla. Now, if you want to understand why someone would buy a brand new Tesla from a second-hand car dealer like me, then check out that video top right, and that will explain the very last reason why someone has to buy a new Tesla Model 3 from me instead of direct from Tesla, which I hope Tesla will sort out because it will increase sales and also improve the lives of many, many people who want to own a Tesla. Now, moving back onto the traffic light system, I did get a small sort of taste of what it would do. So first of all, it recognises the traffic lights, red, amber and green here in the UK. In the US, they obviously just have red and green, but here we have an amber. Amber, for my American users who are watching this, amber lets us know that the light is about to change to red. So we go red, amber's about to go green, and then we go green, amber, about to go red, and then back to red. So it just gives us a bit of indication when we're getting to lights that we should start to prepare to slow, prepare to start moving, etc., depending on what the last state of the light was. Now, Tesla can read all those states of lights. Brilliant. They've also got a thick white line where the car should stop at the junction. Great. Did that, it notices that perfectly. Now in the US, this feature's working, and I've watched a couple of videos of people using it. I've read the user agreements from Tesla, and unfortunately, it's not that great. It will work, and it will stop automatically without you physically pressing a button on the screen like you do have to on the full self-driving on a motorway or Navigate on Autopilot. So yes, it will stop at the lights, and yes, it does work. However, the user agreement for Tesla is very, very clear. You need to pay 100% full attention. Okay, great. I mean, you'd expect that. That's pretty much Tesla's cop-out on most of their autopilot stuff, that it's in beta. You have to make sure that if the light is green, that the stop line on the road is green as well. That means it's noticed the light and the line is green. If the light is red, then the line needs to be red. It basically says that just because it says that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stop there, and you still need to be aware. And basically, it's not perfect, which is fair enough, but they have been working on the system a while, and that was pretty much the big selling point of the whole system, is that it would be able to stop and go on lights. Now, it's going to get better. Tesla software always does, and I do expect it to get better and better and improve. But the big question is, you want to know, should you buy it? Is it worth it? It's a big question, and a lot of it is going to be down to personal preference and what you think. Now, I was tempted to buy full self-driving on a Tesla Model 3 if I purchased one for myself, when the price was at 5,200 quid for the self-parking and the various other little bits like changing the lane on the motorway. Then 5,200 quid I could very happily justify, and with the hopes that the traffic lights and other little bits would start to improve. But the parallel parking, to me, and some of the other bits, I could have swallowed the pill at 5,200 quid and be quite happy that, yes, everything doesn't work, but eventually software will improve, and by the time I've had the car 3 years, maybe more of it will be fully working, or they'll be closer to it being more reliable. And I'd be quite happy with that at 5,200 quid. Well, I wouldn't be happy, but I'd be more happy than it now costs, which is £6,800. And what have Tesla done for this £1,600 increase? Oh, sorry, check. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So it's £1,600 more, and you get nothing. Now, in the US, you do get a little bit more. It does more of the traffic light stuff, but in the UK, yeah, still nothing. It does nothing extra in the UK for that £1,600. So they've increased full self-driving throughout the world, and in the UK, it's now £1,600 more for nothing. And Tesla, this is me telling you that I was going to buy full self-driving if I buy a Tesla now. Now, that was 5,200 quid that you would definitely have got off me if I bought a Tesla. I would definitely add it on. Now, it's 6,800 quid, not a chance. So you've just lost yourself £5,200, and how many other people have thought the same as me? How many people have gone, that's nearly £7,000 for not a lot of features? No, I'll leave it. And what do I think you should do? Do I think that level 5 autonomy is coming to Model 3s? in the next year, next 2 years? No, I don't. I think it's much further away than that. I think it's at least 3-4 years plus. We've been promised that it's going to come next year. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. Elon even put a tweet out recently. We're on the verge of cracking level 5 autonomy. Look, it's going to happen one day, but I don't think it's that close. And if I was you, that's 6,800 quid. Keep the money. Don't put it towards full self-driving. If you want to support Tesla and you want to use that £6,800 to support Tesla, then buy some Tesla shares. Because if they crack level 5 autonomy, that 6,800 quid worth of shares will go up far, far, far more than what they'll increase the price of full self-driving. Because if they crack level 5 autonomy, trust me, every manufacturer will be willing to bang on Tesla's door and say, can we buy your software? Can we use your software? How much do you want for this software? They'll buy it, and everyone will want to buy a Tesla. Taxi firms, car share services, they'll all want to buy Teslas. It will dramatically whack the stock price through the roof, even further than what it is now, because Tesla's stock price is literally really high at the moment. It's doing really, really well. It's rallying. So save your 6,800 quid. Buy some Tesla shares, because at least then you've got a chance of getting something that's worth something at the end, rather than buying full self-driving at 6,800 quid and getting nothing. And there's one last caveat about this. If you buy full self-driving and you sell your car 3 years later and it's still not got any major improvements, you don't get a refund of your 6,800 quid to take onto your next Tesla. You have to purchase it again, and it might be more expensive on your next Tesla. So you're essentially possibly buying full self-driving, not for yourself, but for the next owner, or the next owner after that. So save your money and buy some shares. If you've enjoyed this video, check out the new videos down here. Don't forget to subscribe here. And if you want to support my channel and help me grow, check out Patron. It really helps me buy equipment and stuff like that. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.